Hello everyone, welcome to the online classes of biology for class 12th. Today we'll take up chapter 13, Organisms and Population, part 1, in which we will discuss organism and its environment. Our living world is fascinatingly diverse and amazingly complex. Its complexity by investigating processes at various levels of biological organization, that is, macromolecules, cells, tissues, organs, individual organisms, population, communities, ecosystem, and biomes. Ecology is basically concerned with 4 levels of biological organization: organisms, populations, communities, and biomes. In this, we explore ecology at organism and population levels. Organisms and its environment. Ecology at the organismic level tries to understand how different organisms are adapted to their environment in terms of not only survival but also reproduction. The rotation of our planet around the sun and the tilt of its axis cause annual variation in the intensity and duration of temperature, resulting in distinct seasons. These variations, together with annual variation in precipitation, account for the formation of major biomes such as desert, rainforest, etc. Regional and local variation within each biome lead to the formation of a wide variety of habitat. Now there are some major biomes of India. The key elements that lead to so much variations in the physical and chemical conditions of different habitats are temperature, water, light, and soil. The physico-chemical components alone do not characterize the habitat of an organism completely. The habitat includes biotic components, even the pathogens, parasites, predators, and competitors. So the organism also interacts with them constantly. Major abiotic factors. First, we'll take temperature. Temperature is the most ecologically relevant environmental factor. It ranges from 0 to more than 500 in tropical deserts in summer. It affects the kinetics of enzymes and through it the basal metabolism activity and other physiological functions of the organism. Organism can tolerate and thrive in a wide range of temperatures called as euthermals. Second abiotic factor is water. Life on earth originated in water and is unsustainable without water. Organisms living in oceans, lakes, and rivers should also face water-related problems. For aquatic organisms, the quality, that is the chemical composition, pH, etc., of water becomes important. The salt concentration, measured as salinity in parts per thousand, is less than 5% in inland waters and around 30 to 35% in the sea. Third abiotic factor is light. Many species of small plants, herbs, and shrubs growing in forests are adapted to photosynthesis. Optimally, they photosynthesize under very low light conditions because they are constantly overshadowed by tall canopy trees. Many plants are also dependent on sunlight to meet their photoperiodic requirement for flowering. In many animals, light is important in that They use the diurnal and seasonal variations in light intensity and duration for timing their foragers' reproductive and migratory activities. The fourth abiotic factor is soil. It is dependent on the climate and the weathering process, whether soil is transported or sedimentary. Characteristics are the soil composition, grain size, and aggregation. It determines the percolation and water holding capacity of the soil, along with parameters such as pH, mineral composition, and topography. It determines to a larger extent the vegetation. Now, the response to abiotic factors. First is regulate. Some organisms are able to maintain homeostasis by physiological, sometimes by behavior also, means which ensures constant body temperature, constant osmotic concentration, etc. We maintain a constant body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius in summer. When outside temperature is more than our body temperature, we sweat profusely. The resulting evaporative cooling, similar to what happens with the desert cooler in operation, brings down the body temperature. In winter, when the temperature is much lower than 37 degrees Celsius, we start to shiver, a kind of exercise which produces heat and raises the body temperature. Second is confirm. In aquatic animals, the osmotic concentration of the body fluids change with that of the ambient water osmotic concentration. These animals and plants are simply conformers. Small animals have a large surface area relative to their volume. They tend to lose body heat very fast when it is cold outside. Then they have to expend much energy to generate body heat through metabolism. Third is migrate. The organism can move away temporarily from the stressful habitat to a more hospitable area and return when a stressful period is over. Many animals, particularly birds, during winter undertake long distance migrations to more hospitable areas. Every winter, the famous Keoladeo National Park, Bharatpur, in Rajasthan, hosts thousands of migratory birds coming from Siberia and other extremely cold northern regions. Fourth is suspend. In bacteria, fungi, and lower plants, various kinds of thick-walled spores are formed which help them to survive unfavorable conditions. These germinate on availability of suitable environment. In higher plants, seeds and some other vegetative reproductive structures serve as means to tide over periods of stress. Besides helping in dispersal, they germinate to form new plants under favorable moisture and temperature conditions. In animals, the organism, if unable to migrate, might avoid the stress by escaping in time. The familiar case of bears going into hibernation during winter is an example of escape in time. Now about the adaptations. Some organisms are able to respond through certain physiological adjustments while others do so behaviorally, migrating temporarily to a less stressful habitat. Some organisms possess adaptations that are physiological, which allow them to respond quickly to a stressful situation. In most animals, the metabolism and hence all the physiological functions proceed optimally in a narrow temperature range.